Hi, I'm Scott Flowers with Cloud Ninjas. Today we're here to continue our series on the HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen10 server. In this video, we're going to specifically focus on RAID. Let's get going. Hey, thanks for stopping by to learn a little bit more about the HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen10 server. Do us a favor, if you find anything that helps you in this video, click that like and smash that subscribe. All right, well, let's hop in. This video is specifically focused on RAID. So what we're going to do is we are going to show you the different types of compatible RAIDs. We're going to put up a chart that's going to compare them all. So it's going to show you the RAID levels, the cache, the PCIe gen, if it's a software RAID or if it's a hardware RAID. Then we're going to actually install a RAID card for you. And then we're going to show you step-by-step instructions on how to configure RAID. So there's a lot going on in this video, so sit tight, let's get going. All right, I have my ESD gear on, we're safe to work on the machine. So I laid out just a few of the options, and we'll put up a graph here in a second, but I wanted to just go over a few things to start. So first things first, you'll notice the two over here are your mezzanine style. The mezzanine cards I'm a big fan of because you'll see in a minute when we install it, there is a carved out section in the middle of the motherboard that's specific for the mezzanine card. And again, it's not as important for the 380 because there's a 2U and there's 6 PCIe slots in the back, but with like say a 360 Gen 9, I'm definitely recommend using the mezzanine card because you want to save your PCIe slots for other things. So really it just comes down to what's cheaper with a 380 unless somehow you are using 6 PCIe slots. And if you are, man, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear what the heck you're using 6 PCIe slots for because that's pretty awesome. I'm sure you turn this thing into a beast if that's the case. But all right, so you'll notice right here I put in a low profile. I put that in there for a reason because I wanted you to see the low profile versus the high profile, and the low profiles are not going to work. I mean, you can technically put them in, but you need to get a high profile bracket so that you have proper airflow in the back. So just make sure that when you buy it, that you're working with someone who understands that and gets you the high profile bracket. The second thing I wanted to mention is that you notice there's no batteries here, right? Where's the battery, right? So the battery backup that you get with Dell, for instance, is built on to the RAID card. All the cache is on the card itself. With HPE, there's actually a card in the front that we'll show you in a minute, and that is not normally part of the deal when you go and buy these. You have to buy those separate. So that's one of the things I wanted to point out. And the other thing I want to point out, the only thing you're going to need to be able to do the installation here is you're going to need a T15 bit, and that'll allow you to get into the cards right here. That's what you're gonna need. So all right, let's hop in and we'll show you the installation. So we're gonna leave this chart up for about 30 seconds or so for you, but this is gonna show you all the different types of compatible RAID. It's gonna show you your software RAIDs, it's gonna show you your hardware RAIDs, it's gonna show you your performance RAIDs as well, and it's got all the different RAID levels. It's gonna show you if there's cache or no cache. It's gonna show you the different drive speeds for SAS, SATA, and if it has NVMe support. And it's going to show you the PCIe gen. So I think this is a nice handy chart that you can use at home when you're sitting there and you're going, okay, which type of RAID do I need? Is it going to do what I want? Well, hopefully this chart can help you make that decision. So yeah, now what we're going to do is show you actually how to install your RAID. All right, got my ESD gear on. We are safe to work inside our machine. So all we're going to need for this upgrade, we're going to need a T15 bit and our RAID. That's all you're gonna need. So we're gonna pop our latch, make sure it's set to unlock, remove the lid, pretty much like any server you've been in before. So where we're gonna install our RAID is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this PCIe riser just to give you guys a little bit better of a view. So I'll go ahead and I'll pull this out right now. And we'll put this to the side. So all right, this is a fairly simple install overall, but there are a few keys along the way that you're going to have to do to pay attention. So one of the things that is key is there's two little holes right here, okay, in the PCB board. On this blue piece, there are two little pegs that sit up. We are going to line that up. At the same time, we're going to line our connection up, and then we're going to line these two screws that you see right here up with the screws back here. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to take our cables and put them to the side for now. So we're just going to come in here right now. Again, we're going to start with these two blue holes. All right, so those are in to start. So then we're gonna bring this down over here and we're gonna plug this in. So you can even feel it plug in when you do that. And then we're gonna screw it down with our T15 bit right here. All right, make sure it's nice and tight. And now that we've got this installed, what we're going to do is we're actually going to plug in our 2 ports. So this one says port 2, so we're just going to line this up and plug this into port 2. You hear it click into place, so we're going to line up port 1 as well. So let's just get this fully lined up and then just click this into place. Alright, so I went ahead and moved this cable back here. I just needed to unplug this and have it run properly to be behind our RAID card here. But that's just how easy it is to do the install. It's just a matter of lining things up properly, make sure you get your connection down, and then the 2 screws, and that's about it. So now what we're going to do is show you actually how to configure your RAID.
Hey everyone, this is Ben with Cloud Ninjas, and today I'm going to be showing you how to configure RAID. Specifically in this video, we're going to be configuring RAID 1. The steps we're going to show today are going to be very similar no matter what RAID level you want to configure. So if you follow along, you'll be able to configure whatever RAID level you desire. I would like to note though that if you are trying to configure a different RAID level from RAID 1, you may have a different set of requirements. First of all, the actual RAID controller that you're going to be using, you want to make sure that it is supporting the RAID level that you want to configure. Scott broke down all the RAID controllers and their supported RAID levels earlier in the video, so if you want to go back and look at that. The other thing to consider is how many drives does your RAID level need. RAID 1, for instance, needs a minimum of 2 drives, while a RAID level like RAID 5 is going to utilize 3 drives or more. So I encourage you to do a little bit of digging and some research to figure out exactly what you need. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is power on our server. And during post, we want to press F10 to enter into the intelligent provisioning. Once we're in intelligent provisioning, we have 4 options to choose from. We want to select the Smart Storage Administrator option. Once we're in Smart Storage Administrator, we want to select the RAID controller that we're using on the left-hand side of the screen. And then we want to click on this blue Configure button. And then we're going to go ahead and click on Create Array. And those 2 drives that we saw under Unassigned Drives is going to be displayed here. In our case, we're going to go select all of these drives because we want to use both of them for our RAID 1 array. Once we have our desired drives selected, we can click on Create Array. In our case, we got a warning message. This is because the capacities of both drives are different from each other. Whenever we do this, this is going to prevent us from using the full capacity of our largest drive. This is something to be aware of whenever you're purchasing drives for a system, but to break everything down, basically, if you want to configure a RAID array, make sure all of your drives are the same capacity. So we are aware of this, and we're going to go ahead and press yes. And over here, if you go to the top left, you can see these 2 RAID levels. We have the option between RAID 0 and RAID 1. We're going to go ahead and leave it at RAID 1, and we're going to leave everything else at its defaults. And one of the great things about this configuration utility is that for each option, it has in blue text, what is this? It'll basically explain to you what it is, so whenever you're going through this configuration and you don't know what something is, or there's something you may want to change, you can just use this option here and it'll explain it to you. Once we're done, we can click Create Logical Drive. We are going to get another warning message. We can go ahead and click on Yes to continue. And then here is displayed the final screen. It will be a breakdown of everything we have in our array. If everything looks correct, go ahead and click on Finish. And there we have it. We have successfully configured RAID 1. As you can see, it was very straightforward, and if you followed the steps throughout this video, then you'll have no problem configuring any RAID array. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And if you're interested in purchasing any servers or workstations for your home lab or data center, we got a wide variety of options to choose from, ranging from HP, Dell, Supermicro, and more. If you're interested, head to our website or email us at sales@cloudninjas.com. That's sales@cloudninjas.com. Take care, guys.